Good morning, everyone. Wherever you are in the world, it is morning time here. And that means it is the start of our sunrise safari on the largest safari vehicle in the world. So get ready to hop on, everyone. It is very exciting to have you here, especially in Djuma Private Game Reserve. Good morning, my name is Lauren and Owen is on camera with me today. And we've stopped by the water body. Why? Well, it's a good place to check in the morning. Apparently impalas were alarm calling, but we can't hear anything. We're trying to just sit and listen. The air is nice and cold and crisp, so we should be able to hear. But it's not just me out in Djuma Private Game Reserve. Cedric will be out and about shortly soon, and the two of us will try and cover this property and see what we can find for you. Not too far away from us, about an hour's drive, we have Chris over in Pridelands, and he will also be trying to find wonderful animals for you all. And that's not it. It doesn't stop there. We also have a team down in Madikwe, an amazing property. We have Andrew down there, and all the way over in the Eastern Cape, we have Tess. So we're all going to be coming to you live this morning. And we're not only live, we're interactive. So please do talk to us. Questions, comments, IDs, jokes, whatever it is. Please talk to us. Just go to the website, WildEarth.tv, and as long as you've registered, you can talk to us and you can submit your questions and comments. Okay, Owen, I think we're going to just start moving. I don't hear any impala, I'm afraid, so they've obviously stopped, which makes it a little bit tricky. I'm so torn where to go today, but I think we'll go over the dam wall and we'll see if we do get lucky over that side. Nancy, good morning to you too. Good morning. And it is a good morning. The temperature is just perfect. It's not so cold that your face is going to fall off, but it's crispy, it's fresh. That's the word. I haven't got my gloves on, so my fingers are not frozen just yet. And we've only just started getting light. It's a really perfect time in the morning. It was actually very pleasant last night. Oh, just a quick stop here of South Africa's national bird. Hello, guide. Oh. I'm only teasing. I don't think there are many people in South Africa that actually like the haddidas. They're really cool to look at, but they are very noisy, especially when you're sleeping in Johannesburg and they want to wake you up at 5 o'clock. Okay, we're going to keep bumbling. For me, it's really important to just keep moving in the morning, especially if you are trying to track or find a mobile animal. If you keep stopping and looking at things, then you're going to get yourself way behind the animal. So for this first sort of hour, we do try to keep moving. Okay, I've already described how yummy and fresh it is this morning, but let's take a look at the weather for all the locations.
Indeed, seems like we are going to have a nice sunny day. Currently cold but manageable, very comfortable in fact. And I'm definitely looking forward to go and look for some cats this morning. My name is Chris Erasmus and with me at camera ops is Johan Reinecke. And our plan is to go from here, the central parts of Pridelands, and this is where we are now, and firstly experience the sunrise, and then head a bit north, check our northern boundary, and I know some of the other operators will go to the eastern parts and go and take a look there, and hopefully together with teamwork we will locate some cats. Obviously, as we go along, if we do find anything interesting, whether it may be a grass with an interesting growth form, a tree, a bird, a track, dung of animals, a flower. You never know what will present itself. The bush is full of surprises, big and small. And as always, we will try and incorporate whatever nature throws at us. And we're going to enjoy it while we are looking for big animals and cats and so forth. Always take time to appreciate those small things as well. The sun is just about to rise. And good morning to you as well, Kiriki. And again, I didn't hear any lions last night, but doesn't mean that they were not there. It could also mean that they didn't call, or maybe they were just out of audible reach when they did call, or I was asleep. Many variables there. We'll just have to go and search for tracks, and then obviously if they're not around, they're not around. Then we divert our plans and we make another plan. And it's the nature of safari. You cannot dictate what's going to be out there. Cannot predict what's going to be out there. It's like a lucky packet every time you head out. We are likely to see some elephants. There's still some buffalo around. Leopards are always on the cards because they can reveal themselves at any moment. It is going to be a nice warm day, a warmer than usual winter's day, which makes waterholes a great place to be. And Anna Marie's also crossing some fingers there for some spots in the form of leopards, I assume. I am long overdue for a leopard. I haven't seen a leopard in a very long time. It is time, I think. There's the sun, literally as I'm speaking, showing its face. Right there in the east. You've got that layer of cirrus clouds that is quite high, and that is why the sun has got that beautiful reflection from those clouds, creating those lovely hair-like structure there. And those are cirrus clouds, very high clouds, often indicating a change in weather. In this case, changing from cool, miserable weather to clear weather. Fantastic, look at that. That is pretty. That is very, very, very pretty. Good morning, Texas. Also just commenting on that beautiful sunrise, and just had a flock of guinea fowl just photo bombing us there. Out of the blue. Came out of the tree where they were sleeping now, and they are now heading out to go and eat. Spend the day feeding. And then just closer to sunset again, they'll go back to the tree where they roost overnight. This is the coldest part. I always say this is when it is at its coldest in the mornings. And then very soon after this it heats up. the bird seems to be very happy as well.
Hi, my name is Claire. WildEarth has been part of this home for many years as it connects us to the bush and the culture that we love and miss so much. I became an explorer so that other people around the world can get to experience the African bush in this unique way as well. I am beyond excited that I was drawn to win the prize at Ambakala Game Reserve for 3 nights. It is truly a dream come true.
Sign up today and you could be the one experiencing it for yourself.
So yeah, right, from here, again, we'll just probably sit for another 2 or 3 minutes, just to make sure you're not missing any lions calling. And then we'll head out further north and go and execute our plan to try and find them. No, nothing. Cannot hear any lion or anything like that. But again, it doesn't mean that they are not there. So we'll sit here for another 5 minutes, then head out. Maybe we're lucky. You never know.
I think I lied to you all earlier. I had no root cold. I'm not gonna fit my gloves on, no, not yet. I always find it really hard when the tracks are on the other side of the vehicle. Hyena. Always hyena. I'd love to really track a hyena, or them all, and just really see how far they move at night. I obviously That even if you could just implant some sort of magic chip and watch their movements, my goodness, they should all be this big squints in the morning. No luck so far, but I really have got a good feel, I'd say. I think today has been remarkable. We're so lucky to change. I can feel it. Fiona, me too. You're looking forward to seeing what the Sunrise Bumble has in store. Me too. I love Sunrise Safari. I think it's a perfect length. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's the start of a new day. It's the end of the day for the nocturnals. It's the start of the day for the diurnals, and there's just so much happening. And that's when you can really start to piece together different parts of the jigsaw. What can you smell? What can you hear? What can you see on the ground? There's a lot to do. It's a very busy time in the morning. You really do need your coffee. Thank goodness I have coffee. I would not be the same person otherwise. Coffee is my thing. I don't smoke. I don't really drink that much. Coffee is my thing. Don't ever take coffee away from me. Got that, Owen?
Yeah, me too.
James is the only other person in camp whose coffee I could tolerate. It is strong. Wow, James. I mean, it's like tar, but I love it. Whereas some people make very weak coffee. Okay, not that I sort of think anything's going to be really going on here, but we have came to Twin Dams. And for those of you that are maybe new to this area, this is, oh, Owen went left, I went right. Okay, we'll stick with Owen. This is one part of Twin Dams. It's very small and very often empty. And then if you do swing across to the other side, Owen, you'll see this is the main dam. This is the sort of big part of Twin Dams. But that is why it is called Twin Dams, in case any of you are thinking, why? Anyway, we're going to keep bumbling, and we're now going to send you all the way across to Madikwe to say good morning to Andrew.
Thanks, Lauren, and good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome. Yeah, we are starting off with a beautiful sunrise, waiting for it to happen out here in Madikwe. I'm sure in about 5 minutes or so that sun will be popping through. Morning, everybody. My name's Andrew. Nice to see you all, and that's Paul behind the camera. And our plan this morning, we're gonna, as every day, we're gonna go north, and we're gonna really try and find a female cheetah with her cubs this morning. So let's hope that works out. But back to this beautiful sunrise. As soon as we drove up and towards the airstrip, we get this beautiful, beautiful orange. But I think as that sun is about to peak, I think that orange just disappears just suddenly. And we're seeing some beautiful lines in the sky as well, almost like these pencil lines. And lots of birds calling this morning up here. So we can already hear some pied babblers. We already saw some Natal Franklin or spurfowl. And then red-billed, yellow-billed hornbill. And we heard some lions roaring this morning in the south. Just we're a little bit worried about going out that way because we know in the past signal hasn't been great. So it's a bit of a risk going out there because it's quite a far drive north again to get to our signal spots. So we are just going to go north. And hopefully this morning the wild dogs, they pop up. That would be fantastic. But all in all, it seems like it's going to be a very nice day today. I believe it's going to be about 26 or 27 degrees. Yeah, we'll wait until we see it before we believe it. But if it is going to be that temperature, it is going to be a wonderful afternoon. And the ringneck dove's calling. Just beautiful. So there's a little bit of moisture in the air at the moment. Norm Farrington, good morning to you as well. Thanks for your greeting. Yeah, and thanks for being with us out here on the safari. It's a very special time of the day now. Most of the birds are calling. You'll find that some of the other mammals might be territorial, like those lions were this morning. Just beautiful. A really stunning morning. We are enjoying it. We've got our hot chocolates, and Paul's got his coffee there. And just like clockwork, there's the baboons barking. Pretty far away. I don't think you're going to hear it too well. But they're actually living in the big trees. There's a big troop of baboon that we've seen living in the trees just along the river line. And as we know, leopards love river lines and drainage lines and things like that. And so if there's anything like that walking along that drainage line or river line, hey, those baboons, they're not going to be quiet about it. They're going to announce it, tell the whole bushveld that they're seeing something of threat. So it could be something like that. We have followed up in the previous mornings before as well. We didn't see anything on those times. And that sun is about to rise. Wonderful. Yeah. We actually saw an ostrich this morning as well, lying next to the road. Big male ostrich that we barely even saw. Helen, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. As soon as that starts peeking through the top there. But I'm not sure if you saw the sunset we had yesterday. But it's such a nice area for that sun to go down because there's a big hill. And if you position yourself correctly and you use the sun, you can... The hill looks like a body of a person, and in the sun, as it's setting, it looks like the head of the person. It's just something creative we did the other day. Yeah, those baboons are pretty far away, but they are calling quite a bit now. I think it might be a good idea just to go and check that water hole that's around there, just to make sure. Let's rather say we've checked it, rather than wondering about it the whole day if something was there. It's a very distinct sound. Oh, the first time I ever heard baboons calling, I thought it was a human being actually shouting. And they say, "How?" And Paul really enjoys the sounds of the baboons barking away. A very strong bark. And it's actually quite amazing because, you know, leopard have been known to hunt baboons. And there's also the table turns on leopard sometimes, that if a troop of baboon see a leopard and they feel that they can overpower that leopard, they will go after that leopard and they will put it apart. Leopard knows this. If a troop of baboon is after it, it is going to run. It will move. It will not stick around.
How much do you know about what it takes to become a safari guide? How much do you know about being a game ranger? In celebration of World Ranger Day, we are hosting a fireside chat. Come along for some interesting discussions with our naturalists and special guests. From game drives to bushwalks and everything in between, we're unpacking how to become a safari guide. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Well, how nice is this, having a male southern ground hornbill just moving along here on this big open clearing just south of our camp. And it is such a stunning, stunning bird, and they're quite large. And as you can see, just roaming around. They are in family groups here. So there's one or two other ones that's around this open clearing. But isn't this beautiful? I love them to bits. Here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in Sabi-Sand, South Africa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cedric. Behind the camera with me here on Rusty, we've got Gert. Donkey. Thank you for joining us. But it's nice just to see them here on this open clearing. Now, why I say it's a male, you'll see pretty much the red that's situated just below the beak. It's completely red. If it's a female, she'll have... Oh, sorry, that was just somebody that's shouting my name. Yeah, clearly that is my name. But yeah, I will get back to him very shortly. But yeah, that one that just went behind there is a male. I think the one that's in front of him is a female. Now the female's got like the... Pretty much, it's not completely black below the beak. There's like little two black, how can I say, bald spots just below the beak itself. It's also got some red, but not completely red, as you can see there now. So that is a female. A female southern ground hornbill with a male that's just following suit. And now what they're busy doing, they're just moving along here on this open clearing. And of course what they're looking for is anything like little snakes and little lizards, geckos, even maybe a tortoise for some reason roaming around at this time of the year. I doubt it, but yeah. But anyway, while we are going to sit around here with these beautiful birds, let's head over to Lauren, as she's made her way all the way down to the hyena den.
Well, we've got lucky at the den finally, and Miss June here is looking fabulous but absolutely huge. June, what did you eat? I mean, that is a full hyena. And of course, little June bug is here too. Hyena cubs at this age just make me laugh. They just want mom. They just want to be everywhere. Look, literally everywhere. In, up, around, on. And sometimes mom gets a little bit annoyed. But we have been visiting this den every day. But sometimes we come and it's just June bug. And some of you will know, but maybe some of you don't. The etiquette that WildEarth follow here is that we don't stay at dens, any den really, without the adult. It's not the right thing to do. So although you want the cubs, whether it's leopard, lion, or even cheetah, hyena, you want them to be familiar with the car, of course you do. You also don't want to encourage behavior that they get so used to the car that you possibly draw them out of their safety net or draw them out of their den towards the car, and then you... Oh. Lovely. And then you... Oh dear, I can't remember what I was saying there. And then you're leaving that animal very vulnerable, especially when it comes to hyena cubs. They become so used to the car and then they start to get really curious about the car. Rubber tires, excellent for chewing. All of these things. Oh. June is now sitting down in her puddle of urine. Oh no, now she's going to sleep in it. This is just wonderful. My goodness. Now we're going to suckle. I think she is too full to move to an appropriate bathroom space. So anyway, to finally finish off that thought that I'm trying to, it's irresponsible, basically. At least when mom is there, mom can protect whatever animal it is. June can protect June bug. They're familiar with the vehicle here. June's relaxed. Look at this. We're here. We're seeing this precious moment. And same with leopard cubs. Any leopardess is there to protect the cub, to listen, to smell, to react. You don't want to have the cub out on their own. It's not responsible at all. Shreyas, of course. I check every single day. But we just don't hang around for long. Really, if Mum does just disappear, which it looks like June is about to, then we don't stay here. Oh dear, Mummy's gone. And it looks like that is our den site. Oh. Mom! I can almost hear the little cub screaming that. This little cub is desperate to be out and about with the clan. Now, I'm not going to start my car until I see the cub going back in the den. Yeah, there he goes. We think it's a he. In case he runs in front of my car. Come on. That's it, little one. We've got to leave now. Short but sweet. But June is still here, as Owen just showed you, so we don't have to leave at this moment. So we are just going to wait and see what June does. Maybe she's doing the other form of the toilet a little bit further away, which would be delightful for all. But for now, we're going to send you guys over to Cedric.
Thanks, Lauren. All right, my plan is going to the western side. Oh, yeah, looks like there was a male leopard that came past here now on Zoe. Sorry, I'm just taking a look here quickly. Let me just go a little bit further up here. Looks like a male leopard might have come past this section. I'm just keeping my eyes peeled here. A little bit tough, some of this, especially after rain. Yeah, it looks like there might be some very fresh tracks here. Sorry, I'm just trying to look back like this every time because when you, okay, I think I see it here on the road. What's on your side there, Gat? There's a bokkie there. Alright, I'm just going to jump off here quickly. I just want just double check with my on foot because I don't want to. Oh yeah, very fresh male leopard tracks. Yeah. Going straight up that way. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn around. It's a big male leopard tracks, yeah, so maybe tortoise pan. I'm going to head some, then I'm going to head, it's difficult to see. The sun is in the wrong direction there, Gat. So I have to, I think even with the camera it's going to be a bit tough. Alright, let's turn around. Typical for tortoise pan, that male leopard, he uses this road so many times to mark his territory, and it's like he's pretty much his eastern boundary of his territory, and this is, and when he goes up here he'll go here, he usually ends up in Aubrey's and he'll cut across. Alright, let's go. See if we can find this boy. And I really want to see tortoise pan. To me, he's one of my favorites at the moment. I actually like all the leopards, but why I enjoy tortoise pan so much, this male leopard, he reminds me a lot of a male called Mvula, and just the size, just the stockiness, very short but very stocky. Alright, well, we're going to continue trying to follow up on this beautiful male leopard and hoping that we are going to get some a view of him. Let's head over to Lauren.
June hasn't left, I think. Oh, she's gone flat. Oh my goodness. Well, that view went from 10 to 0 fast. The cub's got the zoomies. Little Junebug is just running. Let's see if we can maybe try to get another view here. I don't know. But this is very often what happens. We arrive at the den and we don't see anybody, so we leave. But very often the hyenas will just be there. Michael Fleetwood. Ah, June the balloon. Yes, this is absolutely the case this morning. Um, is that June, that patch of pale body in the grass? I think she is so flat and fat, June the balloon, that I don't know if we'll get much movement. The cub's moving. The cub's got all the energy in the world. It's quite a quiet day. When I did first arrive here, my first day back, we did have lots of other hyenas visit. But I have to say, since, it's quite quiet. It really is mostly June and Junebug. And I'm trying my best to check all the dens on Juma that I know of, check all the dens that I know of in other places, and having a communal space is important for spotted hyenas. They do need to come together, they do need to aggregate and be a clan. But of course, it's busy right now. There are dogs around. There has been 2 buffalo kills on Torchwood. None of them on our property, of course, but c'est la vie, pussycat. I bet you June's been here many times when we've come, and she's just flat. We don't see her. June the balloon is not floating. Early Junebug is the cutest little thing. I had a chat with Michael Fleetwood the other day. We've become very good friends over the years, and we both agreed that June's offspring are just adorable. She produces really good looking cubs. But June herself is a very good looking hyena. I know her ears a bit sort of flopped over now, and naturally she's a bit older, but she is a really good looking hyena. Maybe some of you don't find hyenas good looking, but I definitely do. And when you look at their face, some just really are gorgeous, and I think June's genes are particularly beautiful. Junebug's just so happy Mum's here. That's all the little ones want, is Mum to be around. And of course there are no other cubs at the den. I didn't get that name, but yes, no other better way to start the day than June's little fluffy black bear of a hyena. And June was born on June, yes, that's where she gets her name from, but 2015. So she's exactly 8, pretty much. She's an older hyena, she's seen it all. And for those of you that maybe are new to watching us, we have followed this clan for a very long time. So we do know the adults' lineage, the moms, the grandparents. We do know these hyenas very well. Little one, don't go too far. Hyena cubs get to a stage where they just don't want to be dead. They want to investigate, and sadly that is when leopards, lions will just come along and unfortunately take their pick. It's a really risky time. For the first maybe up to 6 months they are quite den bound. They really do run into their den, but after that they just really want to be out there with the rest of the clan, into that big bad world. Ah, here you come. Hello.
Do you sometimes imagine what WildEarth would be like without adverts? A chance to properly immerse yourself in nature without any interruptions. Sign up to be an explorer for a small monthly fee and you can truly escape into the wilderness. Ad-free viewing is now available on our app as well as on our website. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
If the views stick like this, we may, in fact, bumble on. But what I'm really craving is a busy den sighting. It's amazing to spend time with June and Junebug, of course it is, but I really want a den that is busy with lots of hyenas, and that's when you're going to start to figure out what is happening with the clan. We need an update. The clan hasn't properly been on Juma as far as I know for a while. Yes, they traversed through Juma, and I think June and Junebug were at a den on Juma for a while, but the whole clan... A communal sighting is really what I'm after. Sir 50, I think you would have a headache tracking Swazi. Oh my goodness, I think you would honestly just see a map of Juma and just squiggly lines everywhere. It's unbelievable how far they travel. Of course, they're just looking for food. Following their nose. But that would definitely be interesting for sure.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a beautiful sunrise at Amakhala Game Reserve down in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. What a beautiful golden way to start a rather cloudy morning. We found the sliver of light and we're very happy about it. My name is Tess and behind the camera is Morgan. Thank you so much for joining us on safari this morning. We've started our morning with a cheetah mission. However, they have dodged us already this early in the morning. So we're in the far western side of Amakhala, the spot where the cheetah boys normally hang out. And as it turns out, while we were asleep, they ended up going straight past our house and back into the Northern Territories. Straight back into the Northern Territory. So they are somewhere up there in the corner, I think, their favourite little corner. and they are probably having a great time. We had a little bit of rain last night, and it looks like it might rain again today. You can see that cloud bank coming in, and it's definitely going to be an interesting day. Morgan's just wiping the lens. It's going to be an interesting day, seeing how the different animals react to the rain coming in. What we've decided to do is actually, since we're in the western part, show you a very pretty sunrise, because this is one of the higher points on the western edge of the reserve. And from here we'll head down towards the dune forest, from the dune forest perhaps towards the basin, see if we can find you some elephants or possibly some giraffes and things like that today. We had such a good day on the cats yesterday, and actually the day before. We've had a week, but yesterday was honestly spectacular. Better than we've had in a very, very long time. The animals just wanted to show themselves off. So we're hoping that if we're patient, maybe the same will happen today. Dark Main Lover, good morning. The sunrises here really are quite heavenly. Sunrises, sunsets, views, it's just amazing. Every single day is different, but every single day is just so pretty. You can see how flat the vegetation is. There's like one or two trees that pop out a little bit above the rest. That's where we're going. That's towards the dune forest. That's right on top of one of the ridges of the dune forest. So those taller trees that we can see would be things like milkwoods, candlewoods. There's even Cape bush willows around here. Cape ash as well. But for the most part, a very densely vegetated area, very thick cover, absolutely beautiful. Smaller predators for birds, for giraffes. Stunning. Let's hope we get lucky today. So it sounds like the lions actually managed to make a kill late yesterday morning, but by yesterday afternoon it was gone. So I don't know where the lions will be this morning, but we can always try for them too. Kabuki, good morning. It is beautiful. Morgan's doing a great job as usual. Golden sunrises. The sunrise is quite a bit later here than it does everywhere else at the moment, because we're a little bit further west and of course a lot further south. And the first glimpse of the sun we actually saw coming up above the mountains was only about 5 minutes ago. Before that it was just the golden light. We couldn't actually see the sun at all. And very soon the sun is going to disappear behind those clouds. So this is our literal golden window for the morning. It's quite strange. We weren't expecting rain yesterday, and according to our forecast, we're not really expecting rain today either. But this cloud bank has come up out of nowhere, and it's amazing to see how the animals have reacted with the rain and the wind coming in. We went from the most beautiful luck yesterday to all the animals all of a sudden being very nervous, except for the cheetah with her cubs, of course. They were very playful, and that was because the weather was coming in. So they had this extra energy, knowing there's rain coming, the wind's getting cold, predators are extra active. But everything else, the zebras, the giraffes, the impalas, they were all very nervous as soon as that weather started coming in. So I wonder if it's going to be a bit better today. I'm hoping it will, because the wind isn't as strong today. Oh, hello birds. Little starlings or something flying off. But we're going to head on towards that dune forest, and hopefully we'll find you some amazing things. And we'll send you over to Cedric to see what's happening with the leopard tracking in Djuma.
Alright, so I've got those, that male leopard tracks very fresh as well, still coming up now on Impala Road, coming towards Sandy Patch. This is pretty much here on the northwestern corner, Djuma. Very fresh track, so I'm just trying to keep my eyes peeled here, because he looked like he's changed direction to more, I think, to the east here, but I'll just take a look around this side first. and then we can look further from here. Sometimes it's quite tough because, you know, with these male leopards, as I always say, they can move, and if they go into a block, you got to try and anticipate exactly where he wants to come out and why is he going in there. So I'm just trying to think ahead here and first just cover my bases and cover the boundary. But knowing if it's tortoise pan, I don't think he would go too far north in towards Buffelshoek, towards boundary pan. But yeah, let's just double check. I've had him a few times on this road, so he has been on this road before. Alright, nothing there. Milo, the size of it is a big male tortoise pan. If there is any other male that would have gone up there but not this far west, it would have been maybe more whitey, but I don't think it's more whitey because he will never really head up towards Impala Road, Impala Plains. So no, it's a tortoise pan. I'll put like 98% chance tortoise pan. Unless it's some random nomadic big male that's decided to come through the area, so that could be a 1%, and the other 1% more whitey. Okay, actually, like let's say 97% tortoise pan, 1% some nomadic big male that's coming through the area, and 2% more whitey. How's that? Sounds a little bit fair. Turn around every day and every night. Turn around. Darcy Miller, yes, come out wherever you are, my boy. You can do it for me. I just want to see you. I'm sure we all want to see you. So, Darcy Miller, let's see. Let's cross fingers that we get tortoise pan. Let's cross fingers. Alright, I'm going to do Aubrey's quickly. The sun is shining, sun is shining. Oh, what a beautiful morning, a beautiful Monday morning. The sun is shining, the weather is great. Now we just need some cats. Hyena tracks. Yeah, just hyena tracks here. I'm just a bit scared that he's going to cross over to the west again. You know, that's also part of his route. You know, that's most of his territory is in the west. West of Djuma, that is.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
Now, this road that we're on now takes us to a seasonal pan, which is dry at the moment. I remember the last time I was here, it was at the end of summer, and the water, the pans are all filled up with water. The dams are all, right to the top of the dam walls, and then all the wallows were really moist. And this particular seasonal pan that we're going to eventually come up to, the last time I was here, we saw maybe about 60 buffalo all busy wallowing at the same time. Thanks, Darcy Miller. Shame, you always send some good luck messages when we are looking for this cheetah. Yeah, it seems like we do need it. Yeah, she's quite a small cheetah in relation to other cheetahs that I've seen, but very successful. And it just goes to show that with certain species of animals, size sometimes doesn't matter. I remember working with a female leopard out in the Timavati, Mbali female leopard. Yeah, she was a very small leopard, and if anybody has ever seen her, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But wow, was she successful. Okay, lovely, nice and warm, and you can actually see the beautiful colors in the grass at the moment. You can see we're all scarfed up, but moments, a few moments making it off. But have a look at the beautiful colors of the grass. It's lovely. It's all golden at the moment. It's a little bit damp as well at the moment. So we're getting the beautiful smell, this moisture smell. And they've smelt it, when the bush is a little bit from the dewness or the dampness from night. It does have this beautiful smell, very strawy smell, if I can, describe it. All right, but we're going to carry on with our plan. Let's head off to Cedric in the meantime.
Alright, still following these leopard tracks. I'm not gonna give up on the, ooh, sorry, I just saw something there, but it might have been just a little, that's nothing, sorry. Alright. Alright, let's go back. So this is exactly the last one's coming up this side. He turned into this block here. He turned in here. But his general direction is still going west, so maybe I squashed the track by accident, which I was not meant to squash. And now I can't get the last track there. Okay. We shall get this leopard now. No, leopard lover, I think if my singing will more chase them away than actually lure them in. Unless my singing sounds like a warthog that's been killed, then maybe that might lure them a leopard in. But other than that, I think even he's running. So he was coming straight to this open clearing that's on my left hand side, yeah. But I think that's why I'm thinking that could be a big possibility that he actually scent marked against one of these bushes and he actually turned more west because his general direction is west. So let's go straight down Vuyatela Access and just go take a look on Vuyatela Access. I think Vuyatela Access is always an area where we've seen teepee many a time, as well as Shadulu. So let's just go down here. Okay, sorry, I mustn't sing. Sometimes I'm just humming to myself here. Why do they become nomadic? I'm sure nomadic. Why do male leopards become nomadic? Because there's two reasons. The first reason is when they leave mom's territory and they start looking for their own territory, they'll become nomadic at that point in time, so they do not have a set area yet. They haven't got a territory as of yet. Just like Marips, that young male leopard, he's nomadic at the moment. So he's busy searching around the areas. You see something there, Gert? You see something that, of course, looking for an area for himself. And on top of that, second reason is usually male leopards that become too old. Sorry, I just listening there. When they get too old and they get pushed out of their territory, they become nomadic again. So, because then they don't want to challenge any younger males. They haven't got the body physique anymore, and then they start just wandering around. That we call nomadic as well. So no set area anymore, no territory. All right. I just want to look carefully up this road. Got that song stuck in my head now. It was actually Gert that put that song in my head. Turn around, every day and every night, turn around. We gotta have a good. Oh, looks like something running there. Yeah? Oh no, it's hippopotamus. Yeah, Joe will sing these leopards awake. We've got to sing them awake. Somebody's got to sing to them. Actually, Gert's got an amazing voice. Actually, surprisingly, seriously, he doesn't give himself enough credit. Some days when I walk past his room, he's singing and playing guitar. And, no, Gert's quite talented. Right, I don't see much coming out here. Ooh, sorry, I'm just going to jump off here. I see something on the road. I want to jump off here quickly. No, it's just hyena once again. Hyenas. I've got a feeling he's in that block. It was so fresh, those tracks. So fresh. I'll go and look back that side. Get a chance to do a little bit of a walk around there, then I'm gonna walk in that area. It's always a thing, you don't want to miss a track. You do not want to miss, because you've got one track coming across the road and you miss it and you carry on going that way, well, you're going completely in the wrong direction. Nip, 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 nip. Chris, yes, from the Bumble crew once again. It was an amazing surprise and a beautiful gift, Chris, having both these gloves on. It's nice and comfortable. It feels like I'm not lopsided anymore. So yes, wonderful. And I see we've got another cold front coming up very soon, so I'm sure these gloves are going to come in handy big time. Nope, nothing here. Alright, unfortunately it doesn't seem like that male leopard has come down this side, down Vuyatilla access. I might head back to the last tracks. While I do that, I think let's go over to Lauren for now and to see what's happening on her safari.
We left the hyena den June the balloon went so flat. Flat for a balloon, yes. And the little cub just sort of nestled in, I think was possibly suckling. So the visual was really not great. So we thought, let's just explore and find out what's happening on the rest of the reserve. Cedric's in the west and I'm in the east. And that's how it should work, covering as much area as we possibly can. I do believe the dogs from yesterday, we had dogs yesterday, they went north. So I think they've probably gone into Bufelsuk. Just a little bit unfortunate. It would have been nice if they came west to us. It's always chaos when dogs are around, my goodness, in any property. It's always chaotic. So I just want to cover the east, see what's happening down this side. And see what we can come across. But don't forget everyone, this is completely live. You see everything as it happens. And it's interactive. So while we're not really finding any animals, we can talk to you. We've got an Inyala here, but I don't want to scare them, so we're just going to have to sort of look through this falling over cluster leaf and get a good view. Hello, boy. We have Inyalas that just live in our camp. These boys just, they get to a certain age and they just think, camp life is actually really good. We're kind of protected. There's lots of food. Predators don't come through camp all the time. We like this. And there he goes with these fancy stockings. Might get a view if we go forward. You don't see Inyala in Madikwe either, so I definitely missed seeing this antelope. Ah, there we are. I was speaking about the mountain Inyala the other day in Ethiopia. My goodness, it's so different from this. You can Google them. So much bigger. And they've definitely not got that cool coat.
Do you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
Yeah, we're just going to give it a few moments. Just going to see if once she's finished feeding there, if she's actually going to walk out in front of us over here. I've got a good feeling she will, because the rest of the rest of the family group are across the road. William, you're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Ah, it's the elephants that should get the thank you, actually. The elephants are the ones that made it happen this morning. And like I mentioned earlier, they can either make it happen or make it not happen. It's just amazing how sometimes they really can just really hide away. But not today. Today is a good day to watch elephants. And I would think that the big main watering holes out here are going to be pretty busy with all different types of family groups of elephants coming down to drink, especially that Clow Dam area. Imagine what it's going to be like today when it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Lots of elephants. Oh, this fork-tailed drongo is having a very good view of this elephant, isn't it? I wish I was a fork-tailed drongo just so I could do that. Sit on a branch right above an elephant and just watch it for hours and hours. Sometimes even jump on its back and catch a ride. Yeah, she's really busy feeding there, but it looks like she is beginning to slowly move. Let's see what direction she's going to want to go. She's still got the grass in her mouth. It almost looks like spaghetti. She's going to walk 90 degrees to us. That's fun. That was a cool view. Hey, how cool was that? Always nice to watch elephants. But we've got another young one over here that maybe we can watch a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, a little bit of a trumpet from a young elephant in the bush. Oh, and then immediately you hear they're communicating and talking. Oh, this young elephant's already learned how to fluff the grass. You see that? They'll often just fluff the grass so it can release the grit and sand from the roots and then put it in the mouth. Good one. So Chris is watching some giraffe at the moment, also feeding. So let's go take a look at that.
Right, yeah, so we do have a nice giraffe. There's actually quite a few of them around. And they are just happily enjoying the lovely sunny weather that we have. And happily eating. Slowly, on their own time, no problem whatsoever. Grab my binoculars here quickly. I'll check some oxpeckers. I think it's quite a peaceful thing to sit and watch giraffe like this. It's a calming thing. Hi there, Norman. Norman wants to know if there's a difference in minerals between green and brown grass. How do I approach this one? Right, when the grass is green, it's still growing, and the reason it's green, it contains chlorophyll and other phototrophic pigments. mainly chlorophyll though. Now what does that do? It reacts with sunlight, it takes water and atmospheric carbon dioxide, and it photosynthesizes it into sugars and starches, which is the food for the plant. It goes down back to the roots, they store it. When the grass is dry, they lose the chlorophyll, the visible or basal cover layer of the plant starts to die. So therefore a lot of those minerals will be less, as opposed to green growing grass. While they are creating these things and absorbing minerals from the ground. So yes, there will be a difference, but the reason for that is when the grass turns golden, that part of the plant is dying or has already died. So the part of the plant that are still alive then would be subterranean, which will be the roots, not in all grasses. Some grasses are in fact annual grasses. They only live for one season and they totally die. Some other perennial grasses will then store enough nutrients in the roots to wait and lie dormant until the next rainy season. When there's water, sufficient water supply, remember the photosynthesis needs water, it needs carbon dioxide, and it needs the phototrophic pigments, most notably chlorophyll. But because it's not raining now at the moment, or at least not sufficiently, and it's our dry season, they don't want to grow more, so they're becoming dormant. Some grasses are still green, but that will change. But yes, there will definitely be not necessarily a nutrient or mineral difference, but nutrients in general. So the greener grass is, generally speaking, more nutrient dense as opposed to dry grass. Now where's our giraffe gone to now?
Shot, but it's
Are they still there?
behind the trees.
Just hiding. Kavuki, lazy giraffe morning. Yeah, indeed. But they are not only lazy, they are hiding. Can't really see them. Nice little patch for them here. There's quite a variety of trees here that they can utilize. And a relative amount of green around as well in terms of leaves. There's quite a few. I've counted about 6 already in this group. Every now and then there's another one that pops out.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Okay, so we've officially discovered down at Amakala that our luck may have run out temporarily. That's okay though. I think it's the weather to blame. It's gotten very warm very quickly, and now it's getting really cold really quickly. So the weather is fluctuating like you can't believe. And the clouds have come in, so there's no more golden light. It's just a grey haze of light at the moment. You will hear this vehicle coming past us. They are headed towards the central part of the reserve. We are almost central at the moment, a little bit more to the west. This is one of our favourite little pan systems. We were hoping there'd be some jackals here, but the jackals are not here. Well, there's often also Egyptian geese, hardy-dars, those 2 ostriches, and what else? Crows. Lots of crows. But we have just spotted a red? Okay, wait, let me try this again. Story of my life. I know Cedric was saying story of his life is out of boundaries. Story of my life, I can't seem to find words. And I can't seem to get them out properly. A red-throated wryneck, which is pretty cool. It's a little bird with a bright red throat. Quite small looking, similar in shape to a woodpecker. Closely related to a woodpecker, in fact. And quite rare. Down here anyway. You see them a bit, but you don't really get to actually spend time with them. Unfortunately, though, it flew away. Story of our lives in windy, cold weather. The wind is only hitting one side of this little pan system. That back end, you can see the ripples in the top. So the wind is coming from our kind of western side at the moment. It's a westerly wind blowing from west to east. And so if you've got any form of shelter just on the western side, it keeps it safe. So you can see there's 2 patches that are being hit by the wind. It's because there's a bit of a ridge around this pan system. So just like that wind is hitting the top of the water, a great comparison, animals are going to be finding whatever shelter they can from the wind to try and be in those calmer sections. So they're going to be looking for ridge lines, they're going to be looking for shrubbery, anything that can provide a little bit of shelter, a block for the wind, because the wind is honestly absolutely icy. There's a hardy-dar that's come into land. Spas, I know you're always asking for hardy-dars. There is a hardy-dar ibis that's come into land, one of Morgan's favourite birds. Hello, hardy-dar. Oof, look at that glossy section on your wing. It's very true. Nadine is the lovely voice in my ear today, directing the show from Johannesburg. You can always count on hardy-dar. She's absolutely right. Earth lover, yes, this seems to be a natural pan. I don't know, Morgan, do you think this was ever excavated before? I don't think so, because there's a pan that was built, like a little water hole trough that was built before, and it's sitting here empty because now there's a natural dam next door. So I don't think they would have built the trough if the dam had been here. It looks like this is a natural kind of dip where this water hole has formed. This definitely is rainwater, and you'll probably find it started off quite small, and then as the time goes on, you know, back when it was a farm, it would have been things like cattle, but now, with the wildlife in the last 20 years, it's been all the buffaloes, all the elephants and things mud wallowing, and as they mud wallow, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's just this beautiful big pan system in a natural dip along the side of the open plains. This happens quite often. Also remember, there were a lot of other impacts that happened, you know, many years ago. There's dinosaur fossils and things here. I'm sure there would have been meteor showers and things like that too, and little impact zones all over. There would have been all sorts of things that would have caused natural dips, but the animals in particular with this pan system to make it this big. And it's nice to see it full for a change. Normally we see it empty, but in the last 2 months we've been really lucky to see water in it. But considering the fact that there was a little water trough that was built, an artificial one that was built, I would think that this wasn't a very reliable spot, and now it is because there's more rain. It doesn't really make sense to build a trough next to a water hole, so I'm thinking the water hole formed itself, because they didn't build this water hole, they built the trough. But who knows, I might be wrong. As far as I know, this is a natural water hole. I think there's only 1 or 2 on the whole of Amakhala that have been expanded or dug a bit deeper. Oh, Hardy-Dar's looking for some breakfast and some water at the same time. A little bit odd to see the Hardy-Dar on its own. Normally this is a group of birds together. That's the way Hardy-Dars like to be. They normally fly around in groups, perch in groups, feed in groups. So I wonder where the others are. With that super long bill, what it's doing every time it dips down, it's acting as a bit of a wader at the moment. Very similar to a sandpiper or a blacksmith lapwing. It is walking along the shallow edge of the water and probing its beak into the water, but also potentially into the soil. These are experts at digging up things like and other invertebrates that live underground. And in the water, yes, because you've got land-based and water, a little bit on each side. But maybe we can do a spot more birding for the day. It seems like it's going to be a good day for that. It sounds like Lauren also has a bird to show you.
Well, we have got lucky today after all. Hello, our beautiful Batavia. Look at you. Oh, I just love this bird. For any of those who are not sure, this is a juvenile Bateleur. Very different from the adults in terms of plumage and coloration. But if you look closely enough, you can still see that it's a Bateleur. It's so good to see you. Always hanging around the same area. Mom and Dad are always in the vicinity too. I've never seen the three of them together. Not this time, which would be lovely. I just love these birds. They're actually quite easy to follow. As long as you can see the nest, they're actually quite easy to just sit and watch and follow their development. They develop remarkably quickly. And they're not true eagles, they are snake eagles. Batavia does look great, Darkmane lover, doesn't she or he? Sadly, we will not know. It actually takes 8 years for the juvenile to attain its full adult plumage. Can you believe that? 8 years. That's a very long time. So at this stage, could be boy, could be girl, we really don't know. And even in flight, the juveniles are difficult to identify because they really don't look like the male. Look like the adults, sorry. The adults are known to have short tails. That's one of the iconic features of a Bateleur. But the juveniles actually have long tail feathers. So again, in flight, if you're looking, you might think, could be a Bateleur, but it's got long tail feathers, so maybe it's not. And with each mole, the tail does become shorter. But in the beginning stages, it's really tricky to tell. And I just love it. Or maybe I should say them. Can't say it. That's not very nice. I didn't get that comment from Katie, but when I do, I will absolutely get back to you. And of course, it's this time in the morning where the sun is now only just at 5 minutes past 8 delivering some warmth. The animals will be relishing it. Everything's getting active and moving. So Batavia here is obviously going to be looking all around to see, what is for breakfast? And by this stage, they can hunt really well on their own. Earth lover, they do. Batavia absolutely blends into that tree. I even said to Owen, Owen, is that a bird or is it part of the tree? Some of the way that the gnarled branches and older marulas sort of stick out, sometimes you think, is that a leopard? And then of course you're like, no, it's just the way the branch and the angle is sitting. But Batavia does. And really, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So I'm going to try and avoid using those terms because we really, really don't know. So I guess given a neutral term applies to this one. Juma's not quite delivered what I hoped it would this morning, but we still have lots of time left. Everyone keeps asking, where are all the animals on Juma? I think, well, I don't know. It's definitely going through a bit of a lull. But at least we've got Batavia. Such a great name. I hope for all the future battaliers that we have here, we can stick to that bat theme. And we'll have a whole lineage of bat names. Or bat-inspired names. It seems like birding is a theme for this morning, so let's head over to Cedric.
All right, well, we also got, looks like Barty, the male battalier, that is sitting up on this dead tree. And old Mervyn the Mossy just flew off. And but yeah, this battalier is just sitting right on top. Old Barty. So of course this is the male battalier, old Barty. Batilda, the wife is Batilda. I think Batilda, it might be around here somewhere. It's unfortunately old Mervyn the Mossy didn't stay behind here. It would have been quite interesting to see and compare the size between Mervyn and Barty. But as you can see, he's just sitting up. Beautiful, isn't it? Stunning, these battaliers. Of course, just soaking up a nice hot sun for the morning. I'm sure it's starting to catch some thermals very shortly. Isn't that stunning, that red beak of the battalier? And I always say the battaliers, because they are scavengers, or primarily scavengers, that you see something dead, of course you'll find that the battalier, tawnies, the vultures, they'll all be in the vicinity if there's something, if there's a carcass around. Katie, you say the juveniles are more prettier than the adults. Katie, I don't know. Well, that's your personal preference. I'm sure they are stunning. They're very brown. But the adults is beautiful. I mean, it's just that beautiful brown on the back end, like the top of the shoulders. There's beautiful orange beaks, orange legs and feet. So yeah, I just feel maybe that to me the adults are very stunning. But yeah, Katie, I'm sure the juveniles are also quite pretty. I mean, I like their kind of a purplish, kind of bluish beaks and face before they get the adult colors coming through.
Did you know that the WildEarth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the WildEarth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
To become a skilled safari guide, traversing the African bush and encountering wild animals up close. Whether you're a retiree, a recent graduate, or a professional seeking a change, the 55-day eco-training program is for you. This comprehensive course will provide you with an unparalleled opportunity to gain expertise in every aspect of the African bush. With the coaching of experienced training guides, you'll embark on an unforgettable adventure that will give you a deep understanding of wildlife, conservation, and African cultures. Over the course of the program, you'll learn essential skills such as animal tracking, bird identification, and bush survival techniques. But the benefits of this rigorous training go far beyond technical knowledge. You'll also form close bonds with fellow nature enthusiasts and conservationists from around the world, creating a global network of like-minded individuals. Your days will be filled with excitement and wonder as you observe animals in their natural habitats and explore the diverse landscapes of Africa. Return home with newfound knowledge, a qualification, unforgettable memories, and a sense of accomplishment that will last a lifetime.
All right, so we're still looking for this female cheetah with her cubs. And just to give you an idea of the environment that we are looking for her in, this is quite a difficult environment, this. So very bushy, lots of blue thorn around here, forming thickets. And yeah, it's going to be quite a trek this morning because there's been no signs of her or footprints or any other things like that been found this morning. But what is quite nice is while the other guys were looking around for cheetah footprints, they came across one of the males, and he's just further north of us. But we're going to stick with our go and see if the Mahiwa male is still around there this afternoon. But for now, we're going to keep pursuing and just see if we can't find this cheetah. It'd be very, very nice if we can find her, because a lot of the vehicles that we're tracking this morning, shame, they've elected to now go up north to go and have a look at that lion, which is acceptable. Some of their guests are only here for 2 or 3 nights, and time is limited with them, so they always try and make each game drive count. So I understand their choice this morning. But yeah, not a very easy environment here. This is a lot of hiding places, a lot of nooks and crannies going in here. Joel, you're at Jackie's Hide. That is awesome to hear. Wow. Because we also stay at Jackie's. And you spend 6 full nights here. That's quite a nice long stay. I know you'd probably want to make it longer. But, you know, as a safari guide being previously to this, what I noticed is most of the time, you know, safaris average out between 2 and 4 days. That's depending on the reserve. Bigger reserves, you need more time. Because there's so much expanse to explore. So yeah, I think 6 nights is a very good stay. And yeah, no, I'm sure you saw a lot. I'd love to know who your guide was, because I know them all there at Jackie's. But yeah, it's a lovely area. You would have seen many elephants at that waterhole over there. You would have seen the giraffes coming down to drink, and buffalo as well. Yeah, that southern part is very nice, I must say, because it's so close to the river, and the bush is very different. You get these tambuti thickets around that southern part, close to Jackie's. It's really pretty, very pretty environment. And you know, when you're driving through this riverbed and you get onto the other side, and then we enter this tambuti localized thicket, it really feels like, almost like the Kruger National Park. There's just bushes everywhere. It's incredibly beautiful, and it's a lot of wildlife around as well. Beautiful. I'm glad you came here. So Madikwe is a very nice place. So while we're just sitting here, it's also a good time just to listen. Remember, there are lots of jackals that live in this area as well. We've seen many, and we've done a few segments on some. And if there is cheetah walking around, jackal follow the cheetah. And sometimes they give alarm calls, and we've heard that earlier on this very road that we're going to be traveling on. So we hope. It's getting warm now, so the challenge that comes in is she could be starting to lie down, which makes it even harder to spot. Ella, you're age 11. We meet again. Good to hear from you again. Ella, yes, there are some flowing rivers here. We've actually gone through one of the rivers through a drift. So you're going to try and imagine it, because I know my imagination was running wild when I can get across the river, but you go in a drift. So my imagination went wild. So I would love to know what your imagination is picturing. But the drift that you come along, it's a concrete slab that goes over the river. And yeah, so sometimes we go over. It's the Moletedi River, if I'm not mistaken. That's the name of the river. Very nice. Very peaceful here. As I say, most of the guides have left this area and they've gone to go look for other things. And so it seems like we are left in this area all by our lonesomes with all of you. Nothing wrong with that. Now, there's some springbok that live around here. Not exactly where we're showing you now. Just on the other side of us, there's a nice open environment, and there apparently used to be a group of springbok that used to hang out there, and they were doing very well. And then the female cheetah started to really favor that area, and she, over a period of months, hunted the majority of those springbok. So not many left, apparently. And as we know, springbok is an ideal prey for cheetah. They're in the same habitats, And it's a nice sized meal for a cheetah, not too big that it can get injured during the hunt, not too small that it needs to hunt immediately afterwards again. Great one, warming up very nicely. Let's carry on going in an east direction, but in the meantime we'll send you back to the Eastern Cape with Tess.
Sounds like an interesting morning, Andrew, looking for cheetahs. We have had a few animals here and there, but they don't seem very relaxed. The weather is giving us whiplash at this point. The sun has come back out and is once again warming up. And so all of the antelopes, I think they're a bit confused. They're feeling a bit nervous because the predators are going to be active. So it would actually be a good day for us to try and find the cheetahs as well. But as it turns out, we do have an elephant. So we're gonna stick with that because it's a beautiful viewpoint that we could never ever get tired of. And a very big elephant bull that is down at the bottom of the basin having some breakfast. Now this particular viewpoint, this is called God's Window, so it is absolutely stunning. You can certainly see why. And it gives us these really nice different views of animals from the top. But we're actually very close to the cave as well. The cave is just below us. The overnight cave. It's a beautiful place to be. Now it sounds like the rest of the herd, because we were looking for elephants this morning, the rest of the herd has gone into the thickets. And actually that's one of the guides talking about those same elephants on the radio, saying they've moved from those thickets to the other thickets. So they are somewhere far to the top right of us. It seems like the elephant bulls are the ones that are going to be hanging around the river line. And from the back it's quite tough to tell, but he looks like a big boy. He looks pretty mature, so I would say easily 35 years old, this boy. He's very big. You just can't tell because it's a far distance and they're quite small. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the two that we saw yesterday as well from the other viewpoint. So I'm wondering where his friend is. But interesting, we found elephant tracks going from here all the way up to those clearings with the pan and past that towards the dune forest. So one of the elephants came up from the basin and went on a massive adventure. A very big one. I'd love to see them come mountains because I don't know what paths they take. It's so steep. Morgan has seen them climb up before. I would probably be the elephant that would take the road. Or game paths that come straight up the sides of the mountains, so I'd be very interested to see how they go up and down using the game paths. Very steep climb, or fall, either way. But it seems like the Ellie is starting to move towards the riverbed, so we'll wait and see where he goes, and hopefully he decides to come back out into the open nicely.
know, just take this moment to just watch them. Very soon they'll start flying. The wind is strong today, the thermals are definitely there. And we're just getting such lovely views of Batavia. Nadia, you're loving every moment. Me too. We do get asked to look for Batavia and sometimes we just can't find them. But today we've been extra lucky. Look at these views. You often find the juveniles are far more relaxed than the adults. They don't mind when the car gets too close.
We've managed to find this wonderful family of squirrels, ground squirrels over here. We've actually seen them here before, but previous times when we've come here, there's only been one or maybe half when they're inside the hole, just sticking their heads out. So yeah, this morning is quite nice. They're sunning themselves and we get a good chance to show them off to you. They are pretty cool animals. And just to give you a size, in case you don't know how big they are, I don't know if you can see that squirrel that is sitting next to that squarish rock over there. So that rock, if you take two bricks and you put them on top of each other, that's more or less the size of that rock. Okay, so it gives you a good scale on how big these ground squirrels are. So for a squirrel, they're actually quite large. Very interesting animals. I got to watch them quite closely in the Kalahari for many years, and they're very interesting animals. And I'm not sure about here, but I know in areas of the Kalahari and things like that, that ground squirrels form an ecological niche for animals like meerkats. Yeah. So the ground squirrels, they are really good at making beautiful little tunnels under the ground with chambers, etc., nice little rooms. Some of them are connected even. And so meerkats, they take over those burrow systems and make it their home. It's very important for meerkats. Meerkats can do it themselves, but they also take over burrow systems, mainly from ground squirrel. But I think in an environment like this, perhaps maybe even yellow mongoose would live with them, these ground squirrels. Very interesting. Interesting animals. What makes it even more interesting is that you are all able to connect with us. This is live and interactive. Don't forget about that. And you can send us questions. If you don't know how to, it's pretty simple. Just go into the website and you can register via there. And you can send us questions. You can send us comments. You can tell us about your trips if you've ever been on any. You can also send in some requests. What I love about ground squirrels is actually their tail. Their tail is so very important for them. People don't realize all we see is a great big fluffy tail. But actually, you know, when it's really hot in these dry arid regions where they live, they will lift their tail over their bodies and make a little umbrella, a little veranda for themselves. And they have a little piece of shade and they can continue to feed in the blaring sunlight. And then furthermore, you know, when they go inside the burrows, in the rooms, and they all huddle, they lie their tails over one another. And they get blanketed that way. Keeps them nice and warm through the night. Very busy animals. They are rodents, you know, chipmunks and squirrels, all part of the rodent family as well. These are the squirrels, the ground squirrels, and they're always busy, chewing. Brilliant animals. Right, so Chris has managed to find some elephants. So let's head off to Pridelands.
Right, finally an elephant. As many elephants as there were a couple of days ago, it seems like even the elephants have taken a bit of a disappearing act. But no, they're still around, and here's one. Here's that same bull we had yesterday. Yesterday afternoon. I reckon it's the same guy. Interesting, he's now... It looks like he's feeding on that bush, but he's not. He's eating grass at the base of that bush. Interesting to see if he eats it, because that is a magic guwari bush, and its leaves are very bitter, very high tannin content. But yeah, now there we can see it is in fact grass that is grabbed from underneath the bush. Fred reckons beautiful view, very green. Indeed, Fred, but also we've had some late rains, and normally this time of the year it's not as green. I mean, it's less green than it is in summer, but also those trees that you see there are the deciduous. They don't shed their leaf. Now, they're evergreen, they're not deciduous. They are evergreen. The guwari, they basically stay green throughout the year. Some trees here shed their leaves, the majority of them though. But there are quite a few that retains their leaves in the dry season, which could create the appearance of greeniness. Now look, there is still quite a bit of green grass, but I can see the bulk of the grass is starting to really turn into the golden yellow color. It's very late in the year for that. And that's because we had big rains in summer and late rains and early winter rains, which is unusual. We had rain 2 days ago, which is very out of season for us here. We mainly get our rain in our summer, which is October to about March, April. There's one elephant bull, slowly walking away. Dark mane lovers just saying how Ellie's puts a smile on the face. Puts one on my face as well when I see them. I think we should try and see if we can't find more elephants as this one is moving away. And in the meantime, let's head over to Lauren. Also found a giraffe.
Giraffes back again on Djuma. Actually, I think we had one right next to the car, but sadly she's moved away. I think we can get better views of her again. She's just around here. There we go. Ah, so nice to have them around on Djuma. I really do appreciate having giraffes around. And just like all the other animals, they sort of ebb and flow their way through our property. Sometimes we have lots of them, sometimes we have one, sometimes we have none. Look at that. that sharp 90-degree bend. It's remarkable. Giraffes spend a large bulk of their time bending over, which completely defeats the purpose that the necks are like this. I feel like this girl is very hungry. Sorry about the picture breakup there. You're still with us. Broadcasting from the wild definitely had its challenges, but we manage it. Oh, come on, girl. Are you really going to position yourself right there? My goodness. She keeps moving, though. Let's see where she's going. Comms are completely breaking up there, AFC. Okay, I think we'll go forward, Owen. She's walking away. There are other giraffes. Let me just see if we can make this work. They're all behind trees or got their heads in the thicket. Yeah, I can see it. I can see the two of them. They're just completely not playing ball with the camera. I don't think we're gonna get one. Bruce, I love where you're trying to go with that question. I do, but I taught about ecosystem roles or the roles that animals play within the environment. But to be honest, I try to steer away from that because it's written from a very human perspective. This whole ecosystem is full of things we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot smell, we cannot touch, we cannot taste. It's full of things that we really don't understand. It's very dynamic. It's in a constant state of flux.
Okay, so we're still looking for this female cheetah. We're not going to give it up just yet. We're going to keep looking, keep looking.
They are piled up on the other side. There's nowhere to go. This is a disaster in the making. As I said before, I have seen them do this. And as I've been explaining, this is the only time that the river claims hundreds of thousands. This coming back might survive, but you could still tell many of them want to go across. Look at this. There is no movement. The front is clogged. We just need somebody to say, let's turn back, and everybody will be saved. but you can tell nobody has gone across yet. Nobody has gone across, guys. They are still there. I'm sure a few have been trampled already.
Sorry about that, everyone. We're still trying to get a good view of the giraffes. They've been very tricky. But Bruce, I didn't get a chance to answer your question. I think we're going to pull up here and just wait. There we go. Wait for them to sort of pop out. But yes, I don't know where I got cut off at, I'm afraid. But the ecosystem is just, we don't fully understand it. And that's why we sometimes say that ecology is not quite a strict science. It's more of a poetic science, because ecology is made up of so many things that we don't understand. So instead of saying A plus B plus C, maybe we should think about all the other things that we really, it's not so traditional. So it's more poetic in that you're taking into consideration the flow of time, which is different from our concept of time. Seasons, movements, rhythms, sounds, the invisible, barely audible, barely detectable. And therefore it's more poetic science in that way. You've got to dig deeper to really sort of see what is at work in nature. So it's a concept, think like a mountain, where you really have to think with nature instead of about nature. So although you asked a really good question, I couldn't possibly say what the value of a giraffe is in the ecosystem. We know that they browse, they'll glean the sort of leaves of the tree, their dung will probably fertilize the soil. Many, many different benefits of being here. But as for that concept of ecosystem roles, I'm just not entirely a fan of it. I don't think we are always familiar with the ecosystem roles. Maybe there is no ecosystem role. Maybe everyone's just supposed to be here because they're just supposed to be here. And even that term, keystone species, I mean, the definition of that is an organism that helps hold the system together. Don't they all? Do we really know what would happen if we lost all our giraffes? Yes, there are some species that we can identify their roles and we can identify them as crucial. But I sometimes wonder if we're maybe just got our blinkers on when we say that, and we're not fully understanding that the system is so dynamic that we need them all to make the system work. It's not just so simple in saying, umbrella species, yes, keystone species, yes, indicator species. All of these definitions are actually very convoluted and they all sort of merge into one another. They're not always very clear on what they're trying to define. So I would honestly love to know the value of giraffes, but unfortunately, that is a bit outside my realm. And there is a fantastic paper, I really do refer to it a lot, but I strongly suggest you read it. It's very interesting, and it is about charismatic species, it is. But it does bring in all these other terms and ecosystem roles and what is it we're really trying to say. It's called, What Are Charismatic Species for Conservation Biologists? And it just questions our use of these terms. It doesn't say these terms are wrong, it just questions what is it we are trying to say. And are we really limiting ourselves by utilizing these terms? By saying, an elephant is a keystone species and an umbrella species, are we limiting ourselves by understanding what all these other species do? I don't even know if we have a giraffe there, but I do think we have lost views of them all for now. That was a tricky herd of giraffe. But anyway, Bruce, fantastic question, because I was taught in my degree about ecosystem roles. And it's just, I just ask and the more literature I've read and the sort of phenomenology aspect of what I study now, I just wonder if we are just being a little bit restrictive to thinking that some organisms have roles and some others don't. And because we are used to thinking of ourselves with identity, of course, careers and jobs and roles and what do you do? Hi, I'm Lauren, I'm this, what do you do? We think that the animals need to have this identity too, but sometimes I wonder if there's a much bigger picture at play. Sometimes I just look here and I think, wow, like there's so much happening here that I am just completely blind and deaf to. We need to think with nature and not about nature. But kabuki, yes, it would be devastating to lose the giraffes. It would be devastating to lose anything. Even the tiniest insect that we maybe don't think about, or the bird that we don't care about, or a tree species, it would be devastating to lose anything. Because we don't know the implications. And some of the species we will be sad about, and those are the species that are generally termed charismatic. But again, charismatic is very subjective. What Owen finds attractive, or what he finds charismatic, I might not. I might be repulsed, or I might think, huh? It's very subjective to personal opinion. And that's why that word shouldn't really be used when referring to the animal kingdom. And it goes deep into the panda effect. Sort of WWF chose panda as their logo, and the panda effect, how we are very drawn to species that we are attracted to. Pandas, polar bears, tigers, leopards, lions. But we're not so attracted to the others, so we don't tend to think about them. We don't tend to donate money to those charities, speaking very generally here. And I think maybe we sometimes overlook them. Maybe we don't think their role is as important. But I think everything out here has value in the ecosystem, and I could not possibly say that one organism has more value than the other. Yes, we can see those species that are vital, termites, but that doesn't mean any other animal isn't as valuable or as vital. That's just where my head is at on that one. So I try to avoid talking about, this is a giraffe and their ecosystem role is X, Y, Z. Because they don't have jobs like us. Their currency is energy. Everything's about energy and making this entire system move. And it's in a constant state of flux. Change is the only constant out here. And even since I've been here in 2018, so much has changed. And it's nice to be able to see that, but it's definitely different from what it once was, and that is life. So as I concentrate on finding animals now, I'm going to send you over to Cedric.
Thanks, Lauren. Yes, look at this. I've got a little termite mound here, and of course there is little dwarf mongoose that's using that termite mound as a nice little home. As you can see, they're all pretty much sitting on like the northeastern side, or actually now some of them on the western side, but they're sitting on an area where there's sun, put it that way. Of course, warming up their bodies. I love these dwarf mongoose. Quite a nice little family here. See, they're all getting ready, all coming out, warming up, and you'll find that they'll start getting ready to move away from this termite mound. I'll go out and go and forage on some insectos, as you know they are insectivorous. A little scratch, and it's nice as well early in the morning, even late afternoon. You can see they really keep the bond between each other very strong, and by doing that they'll play around, do like a little bit of a wrestling match. So allo grooming is important, so they'll groom each other just like lions, as you can see there. Whoop, don't worry. Hello. Oh, but look how sweet is that little one. Scratching all the little fleas off. And they're quite ferocious little animals. They're ferocious. Look at that one climbing up. Everyone's very cute, very, very cute in wild. There is a king of the castle right on top. You'll see right on top here. And there's a king of the castle. So you always get maybe one or two that will be sitting on top of these termite mounds, and or even go up onto a little bit of a tree, a fallen over tree, just to be elevated enough so it can look out for anything that's approaching the family. So in other words, any predator. So we've got something like maybe a snake, or a bird of prey, a leopard, any kind of cat. So yes, and that one on top will let the others know. It's like, hey, there is a danger approaching. Let's get back into our mound, into those little holes. And if you actually sit and listen carefully, you actually hear them communicating with one another. Yes, Luke, I mean, what is a safari without dwarf mongoose? You gotta have them. I think they all can't wait to go out for a breakfast. So if you're driving in the park, in the Kruger Park, and you come across some dwarf mongoose that's just like bolted back into a mound, have some patience. Stop that vehicle, turn your vehicle off, and just wait. And you'll find that, especially the dwarf mongoose, they become so curious. They'll come out and they'll just kind of give you a beautiful show. Fortunately, the other mongoose species here, like the banded mongoose, also in a big family group, they aren't as relaxed as the dwarf mongoose, or as curious as a dwarf mongoose. Eagle lover, I think they blink their eyes so quickly that we don't see it happening. But they have to blink their eyes just to make sure that if any dust is on the eyeballs, they clean their eyes like that, as well as keeping those eyes nice and moist. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe you might be right. I actually haven't even thought about that. I know they can close their eyes. Let's see. Stare at us. Come here, stare. Oh, is it going to blink? No. Is it not blinking? No, it's not blinking. Maybe when they turn their head blinks. I'm sure they blink their eyes. I actually haven't even thought about that. No, it doesn't look like I agree, Nadine. I don't think they're all blinking. Blink. And now I'm staring deep into their eyes. No, they don't blink. Oh, that one just blinked. Oh, no, there, it blinked. All right, they do blink. All right, the one at the back on the right, back right was blinking. Maybe this one in the... Oh, there, and this one just blinked. All right, they blink. Blink, blink. So before they start moving out, you'll find they've got pretty much the alpha male and alpha female. They will really decide. Okay, guys, listen here. Let's head out. Let's head out and let's go and look for some food. And of course, Jill and Bob, you will stay behind and look after the kids, while the rest of us go out and forage. In other words, sometimes you'll have babysitters that'll remain back at the den site. So this one's name is Dwarf Lundgren.
Stay up to date with the latest happenings at WildEarth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. WildEarth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
It just seems like they're so busy, always up and down, moving around. Just having that connection with each individual. So they will keep this as a den site for now, but you'll find in the vicinity there'll be maybe like 3 or 4 different den sites that they do utilize. So they don't stick around too long at one spot. As soon as they realize that this spot has been compromised, maybe by predators or leaving their scent behind, they rather don't want to hang back, and then they'll rather go and move to a new den site, another one in the area, and then they'll sit there for a few days until the same thing over and over, and they'll repeat that process throughout their lives in the vicinity or in their territory.
Okay, so we made our way out of that area. We didn't see anything for the duration of the morning with regards to cheetah and her cubs. And but that's a good illustration on sort of the concept of tracking. It's I mentioned the other day, it's information gathering. So even though we went out this morning and we never found her, and nobody did, doesn't mean that we failed. She realized signs in those roads, and she's probably not in that area. But the sign could lead us to check that she's in that block or somewhere in that land over there. Nevertheless, we'll try maybe again this afternoon, but I'll try and catch up to the Mahiwas this afternoon in our northern parts. But take a look at this environment over here. This is one of many sicklebush thicket blocks. over here. But we'll send you to Lauren in the meantime while we carry on.
Just building on what we were saying earlier, we have a comment from Amazon that says, rather than wondering about the role various creatures have in the ecosystem, we should be looking at ourselves and maybe consider taking more care of it. Absolutely, Amazon. We just like to give everything roles, and of course it's human nature. It's not a bad thing. I think there needs to be a little bit of a slight change in perspective. Not everything here has a role. Okay, elephants.
Lauren?
Standing by.
Good morning, Lauren. Just wanted to find out, are you on that Nkombe sighting that Civilized called in?
Negative. He called it in west of Taxons Road, where the old Misikaya is, but we're not heading that way.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
Yes, we like to give everything a little role, but I really believe now we have to step back from that. Yes, we have to look at ourselves, Amazon, big time, and also start looking at things in a more interconnected way. I loved my degree. I loved going to university. University was wild from what I can remember of it, but I think the teachings also need to evolve a little bit to include interconnectivity. We need to realize that we don't understand it all. I think that's important. Yes, we need to look at ourselves, but then we need to realize that we just don't understand it all, instead of thinking that we do. Instead of writing a textbook on the ecosystem and this is how it works, A plus B plus C equals Z. No, we really need to start to take into consideration that there's a lot more at play, and we really don't know what would happen if we lose a lot of organisms. Yes, we could probably guess, but there will be so many sort of domino effects that just roll from that we don't know about, that we haven't thought about. And Owen just mentioned to me now, he said, oh, Lauren, I've been learning about the nutrient cycle and all the different animals that contribute to that. All animals do. There's not one single animal, excluding ourselves, that doesn't contribute to the nutrient cycle. Every single living being is part of the nutrient cycle. Every single living thing, the grass, the trees, the plants, the flowers, all around us, everything contributes to the nutrient cycle. Even the fish in the dam. They will obviously die, decay, sink. All the nutrients are still going to go into the soil at the bottom of the dam. There's a whole living system under the ground as well, again, that we don't think about. Groundwater, all those organisms that live under the ground that we don't see, therefore we don't talk about. Even in the ocean's a little bit different because it's sort of a little bit further removed, but it's still part of the nutrient cycle. It still has its own going nutrient cycle. There's nothing that doesn't contribute to it. There's no organism that contributes more to the nutrient cycle than others. And again, that's ongoing all the time. This huge cycle, the cycle of life, we don't always think about. It's a fantastic topic when you dig sort of really deep into how ecosystems work. How do they work? I don't really know. I think we only understand the basics, but that's obviously my opinion on that one. Kelly, absolutely. There's a lot we will never understand, and that's just how it's supposed to be. We don't have the hearing of an African wild dog because we're just not meant to hear those sounds. We don't have the nose of an elephant because we're just not meant to smell that way. We don't have the eyesight of Batavia. And that's okay because we are human beings and that's who we are. But that doesn't mean that's sort of our perception and the way we look at the natural world is necessarily always correct. We've came so far. We've done a great deal of, well, we've came leaps and bounds in understanding things. But I don't think we're always necessarily taught about interconnectivity. We're not taught about the things we don't hear. We're not taught about the things we don't see or feel or smell. Because it's difficult to talk about them, right? It's difficult to teach about them because we don't experience them. But that doesn't mean they're not there. If I could teach anything, I would definitely teach about phenomenology. That is definitely my favourite topic. Okay, I'm going to do my last loop and trying to find some life out here, and we're going to send you guys over to Pridelands.
You know, there's no forecast for any weather system that should arrive, but if you look at the haziness towards Mariepskop, it's not very visible. It's very cloudy, hazy, and there seems to be a cloud bank, very high-lying cloud bank, right above the mountains, seemingly running east-west. And that's typical of changing weather, but nothing's being forecasted, so I'm a bit baffled. Anyway, we'll monitor it in the next couple of days, and it is what it is. We do experience changes in weather. And also, the haziness is not necessarily moisture. It could be a combination of a bit of moisture, and I think it's more specifically dust, and then very importantly, smoke. There are lots of fires at the moment around in the Lowveld area. Some purposely lit in the form of management fires, and some are natural fires, and some are accidental fires. So it is fire season. So we often do, especially on the colder days, do see this haze. And sometimes you can even smell it. It's not to be confused with pollution. You know, this is a natural thing. But you know what? Even if it's hazy, Mariepskop still maintains its status as an iconic landmark in the area, which can be seen from miles and miles away. And Lola is just echoing my sentiments there. There's still a stunning view, absolutely. And you can just get lost into that, you know.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
professional field guide in the African bush? Eco Training's Professional Field Guide course can make that dream a reality. This comprehensive program comprises approximately 5 months of theoretical and practical training in the African bush, with highly qualified instructors where participants will complete various certificate courses. You'll learn essential skills such as animal behavior, tracking and identification, as well as gaining in-depth knowledge of the African bush and its ecosystems, all while living in a real-life safari camp. But the learning doesn't stop there. Following the theoretical and practical training, students will embark on a placement program period of 5 to 6 months. During this time, you'll work alongside professional staff and management at a property, putting your newly acquired skills into practice and gaining substantial practical experience. You'll be fully prepared for a fulfilling and rewarding career as a professional field guide. Enroll today, locally or internationally. Take the first step towards your dream bushveld job today.
Oh, goodness, we finally found some animals that are willing to be on camera this morning. I don't know why we didn't get the memo. It was probably the weather. But it seems that the sun has decided to break through the clouds at least a little bit more, and a whole herd of eland have come out onto the slopes. Now, we actually came to this area not for the eland, but for a caracal that was called in on the radio. A caracal sighting. How cool would that be? One of the smaller, more elusive cats, an incredible predator, was spotted coming towards this area. So we've been sitting and waiting, we've been scanning, we've driven around in a bit of a loop, and alas, we found that caracal soon. But how cool would it be to show you a caracal? In comparison to the size of those eland, it would take them up to what looks like their knees. They are massive antelopes, and a caracal is quite a small cat. Very similar colour to these eland as well, that beautiful red you can see on the back. That's where the Afrikaans name for the caracal comes from. It's rooi kat, which means red cat. It would be amazing to see one in this area. But it's always special to spend time with eland as well. They are so big and so quiet. You hardly ever hear an eland making a noise, unless it's those big males, and you can hear that clicking sound that sounds a bit like cowbells when they walk. It looks like even they are deciding to move into the thickets. The breeze is picking up. It's a very icy breeze, so we're wondering if there might be snow somewhere around. It has been snowing in the last week. But what the weather is doing today essentially is kind of toying with everybody's sense of security on the ground. So the eland has a bit less to worry about. You can see it's a very large animal. That being said, the cheetahs took down an eland that size and one bigger. But on days where it's a mix of, okay, now it's sunny and warm, okay, now it's cold and overcast, freezing cold wind that's gusting, it does make everybody a bit extra nervous. It's giving us whiplash as well. 1 minute take off the layers and 1 minute we want to put them back on. So you can only imagine how the animals are feeling. They're of course adapted to the temperature side of it. That's not a problem. But predators take the sneak up. And it makes the antelopes really nervous. Luckily, the eland have decided to come out for a little bit longer and enjoy the sun while it's here. So we're going to stick around and hopefully find you a caracal, but we'll send you over to Cedric to see what's happening in Djuma.
All right, I left Buffelshoek boundary now. I'm coming back on towards our camp area. I know Karen said she had impalas a lot. I'm calling this morning around Gary Dam. Sorry, I'm just trying to listen. There's someone trying to call me here. But yeah, I haven't seen any other leopard tracks. Oh yeah, sorry, I did. There was leopard tracks going up Gowrie Cutline. So that was where the big jackalberry tree is. Looked like there was a female leopard tracks going north from that side. But no luck, because it's got the Mulwati drainage line right next door there, or right next to the road. And it's very, very thick. So I couldn't see exactly where she moved. But yeah, let's just go a little bit up the driveway. I might just do the block around a quarantine. That's just open clearing. That's south of our camp. Just going to go around, just do a little bit of a loop. A loopity loop. Loopy loopy. Ray, that's it. No guarantees in the bush. Ray, that is such a good thing to live by, and as well as expect the unexpected. I believe in that completely. There's no guarantee. It's not a zoo. It's a big, big reserve, and animals roam freely here, and that's why we try and track as much as possible to see if we can find those animals. So there is no guarantee, as well as, you know, when you say expect the unexpected, sometimes you can be just driving down the road and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you know, like the other day, 2 honey badgers just popped out in front of us. And so yes, that's how it goes. That's how the bush works, you know. We go according to the bush. The bush doesn't go according to us. Ooh, that was quite a nice quote. I like that one. I must write it down, yeah. But yeah, other than that, we always just try and take a look what else we can find around here. A bit of a breeze that has just come in, interestingly enough. It seems like maybe a little bit of a cold front that might be pushing back again. But it is winter, so we will get these cold fronts that'll be coming through like this over and over. As long as Lauren makes, Lauren needs to make sure that she stays nice and warm and keep the chest, the neck area nice and warm as well with a scarf, so at least you know that you don't get sick from this weather.
Do you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
But yeah, as I said, I will go and have a squizzles this afternoon. Try and follow up on Shadulu, and just want to double check on that. Alright, looks like not much on quarantine on this open area, it's just a little bit quiet on this side. Usually always got that herd of impalas and that lonely wildebeest that hangs around here. I don't see them.
The wind has really picked up at this side. It's always interesting watching the behavior of animals to the wind. Sometimes they get really spooked. Now the rutting season is over, boys. See, they've been friendly. Look at that. Lots of love. Oh, there's a green hoopoe there. Oh, and you just see it just to the right on that small tree. It's hunting away. These birds for me are notoriously difficult to get on camera. Not impossible, but very difficult. They're very busy birds, very loud birds. Pecking away, what are you looking for? Insects, I'm going to presume larvae, eggs. Oh, dark mane lover! Thank you so much. That's such a lovely thing to say. I appreciate that. You know I like my discussions. I like to hear your thoughts too, really. It's always an open door, open discussion. You guys also inspire me greatly. Some of you come up with great ideas and great answers. I think I've just evolved a little bit since my learning degrees at university, and I've just realized maybe it doesn't quite work like that. And I think if anything challenges you or changes your perspective, then it's a good thing. You don't want to be rigid and stuck in your own way of thinking forever. You need to keep learning. You need to keep growing. Yes, there are things I will have said in my earlier days as a naturalist that I maybe wouldn't say now. Doesn't mean I was wrong. I guess it just means I've changed my way of thinking. I maybe just don't think like that anymore. Impala look very happy, no sign of threat around. As we near the end of drive, we're going to send you guys over to Tess for an update.
Thanks, Lauren. I wish we could say we've been successful with the caracal, but it seems to have dodged us. But I don't feel so bad because it dodged the other vehicles as well. Only one vehicle managed to actually see it. So there's one very happy set of guests and a guide. But how exciting to think that this is the place where you can see so many of those small and unusual creatures. The black-footed cats, the caracals, the servals, African wildcats, and all the way right through to cheetahs, Cape leopards, and African lions. Such a huge diversity. So, No small cat for you today. That's all right. No small cat for us either. We'll make a plan. We'll try and find it another time. This is the third time that caracal has been spotted in the same area. It's territorial. It's there. It's relaxed. We need to find it. We need to find it, I've decided. So we'll keep trying until we manage to get it for you. But anyway, it seems like the weather at least is causing everybody to calm down a little bit now. Some of the other animals have been running away. It seems like the red hartebeest and black wildebeest have decided it's better to just lie down and soak in the sun. And it makes sense. That's what I would be doing. Anne-Marie, goodbye. I hate this time of the day. It's awful. But yes, it has been a very pleasant sunrise safari. We've seen all of the big and like small unusual things as well. It's been very, very interesting. But thank you very much for joining us, everybody, because it's always fun having you on the back of the vehicles. I hope that you enjoy the birding and the dwarf mongooses. And yes, they do blink, which, I mean, I'd actually thought about that. I've never really remembered them blinking either. But they do, which is good. I'm glad that they blink. This is a good thing. But hopefully next time we'll manage to find you the caracal and all the elephants and everything else in between. It's been a lovely morning. I'm happy that the sun is out now and it seems to be warming up a little bit. We're going to take full advantage of that situation as those wildebeest start running in the distance. Who knows why. But if you want to join us for our sunset safari, please do. We'll be out at 2:30 p.m. Central African time for another live adventure in the African bush. We're looking forward to seeing you. And thanks again for joining us. Have a great day or night, wherever you are, and see you later.